that you two are going to for business. So
As you're talking, I'm thinking.
you need to do that in multiple states, right? So yeah. So that's just one small piece of your business that you can continue to market and work that's outside of Arizona. And then in Arizona, everything I'm going to talk about today is what you're going to do now. You know, there's like 4 or 5 different ways to network to really grow your sphere and really connect with people. I'm going to talk about that today. But yeah, just keep going through that phone, keep talking.
Yeah.
You just never know when that person's like, oh yeah, we're moving to Arizona. Oh great, I can help you.
I'm waiting to that.
I have 3 people that have come up to me since they've been in their class, and they've been doing the reconnect call. They've been doing there's a way. I don't know if I talked about it there. I know I just did for Amber in the Relentless. We just talked about how to put those 4 scripts, how to schedule the calls out for them. I don't know if I did that in that class. Did I do that?
I don't think so.
So there's the four scripts, and how when you do the first reconnect call, how you can schedule the give back call, the gratitude call, and the indirect ask for business call for that client. You just schedule them out in your system. So now you when you keep doing that, so if you made 10 calls and you talked to 7 people, you just made 21 appointments, right? Because you did 4, and then you just made the rest of the appointments for the follow-up calls, the gratitude, to give back, all that stuff. So I had 3 people come up to me so far and tell me that how cool that is, that how it's so nice that they're connecting. You know, they're I'll get Adeline, for example. So she's been doing those calls every day, and she connected with an old friend she'd been wanting to get in touch with. They ended up having coffee. They went for coffee. The friend enjoyed so much reconnecting that she invited her to the baby shower. And then the aha thing went off in her mind. The light bulb went off to go, holy crap, I'm now going to be connected with a bunch of people I don't know, because I reconnected with a friend that's now going to introduce me to a whole bunch more people, and they're all going to ask her, what do you do, right? So that's the power of that, you know, connecting, right, and making those connections. And so that's why they're so powerful. So a lot of people say, well, this doesn't seem like it's business, but trust me, it is. Because you just keep building those relationships, keep making those connections, you keep staying in touch, you keep making the calls, and all of a sudden they're going to go, hey, you're a realtor, right? Yeah, I need to list my house, or they're going to refer you a friend. It's just, it's. I know it seems like, well, that doesn't seem like it's revenue generating because you're just talking and making relationships. Trust me, it is. You'll make more money doing that than you will cold calling and trying to get FSBOs and expires and stuff. Those are tough ways to do it. It can be done. I'm not saying there aren't realtors that are very successful at it, but just long-term growth and a solid foundation of this business is database, is the people you know, your sphere of influence. And so you have to become a master of your sphere. You have to become that complete focal point, that total concierge person for everyone you know. And so that's why it's so important to work the sphere. When too many agents are just so focused on chasing a commission that they're forgetting about really truly building the business. So if you were to, you know what I mean? I mean, you're opening up a business. I mean, you want to make money, but you have to have a solid foundation to build from and grow. So if you're just out always constantly, you know, chasing the commission through not following up with anybody, you're just always looking for the next person that's ready, and that can be done. That's a hard life, and a lot of salespeople do that, right? Where they're just so focused on the next person that's ready, they don't establish relationships for long-term growth. Nick knows this better than anybody. You've been in business a long time. Yeah, I mean, you've been in bigger companies, but it's just amazing how many people are so focused on who's ready right now, and they forget about everybody else.
I think I needed to hear that.
What's that?
I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
Because I feel kind of a little depleted, like, what am I doing? But I needed to hear that. Like, I just go chase like that person that's ready, and the money, like, this has to come through more, like, continue to sow, and then it'll come through.
Yeah.
I needed to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's all about planting many seeds, right? How many seeds can you plant? Then you got to nurture it, right?
Yeah.
You got to water it, and then they just start growing.
Yeah.
And it's just the truth of it. if we can get more people to focus, more agents to really focus on that, you're gonna watch your production really increase and grow. And then you'll sustain because you're maintaining those relationships and not just closing the deal and forgetting about it. Were you able to find that those stats for me?
Yeah, but that's for the one after.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
So you want those right now for this one, or do you want it for?
Well,
True.
no, the hard truth class I wanted for that. But,
Yeah, I have.
oh. Are we almost ready?
Yeah, you're good. You can start. I'm just printing one more thing out, but I'll give it to you guys in a second to talk about it. I'm just writing it down.
Okay, I just wanted to get the main sheet so I have a little bullet thing to follow from. So, so today is it live? Are we live? Was that live talking about all that stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sitting there going, I'm thinking, waiting for you to say, give me the green light.
Oh, I thought I just like, okay, yeah, go whenever you're ready. Yeah.
Well, I hope everybody on Zoom learned something from that. So I apologize. I was waiting. I thought Evo was going to give me that 1, 2, 3.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael.
Well, welcome. How many people are on Zoom?
We got 2 in there right now.
Okay, 2. So small class today. That's okay. But listen, man, I'm glad you guys all showed up for this because I think this is just going to add to the summer series of what we're actually doing to help agents really become more productive. Every class we're doing is all about increasing production, all about helping agents to continue to grow in this market. Now, I mean, if you're still an agent that's thinking this market is a little bit slow or it's a bad market, I'm here to tell you different. I mean, if you're out there working this business, it's happening. There's a lot of growth happening right now. And for those people that are hustling, those people that are asking questions and learning and growing and working and doing the work, making the calls, doing the open houses, doing the things that we should be doing as real estate agents, you're going to succeed. You just can't ever give up. I mean, that's just the one thing you can't do. You just got to keep going, keep learning. Now, there's a lot of different things to be asking about because if you are doing something consistently and you're not seeing a lot of results, let's talk about it because it could be the approach. It could be the way things are set up. It could be there's a lot of different things. You have to be open to saying, okay, here's what I'm doing. Is what I'm doing, if it's not working, it's figuring out what do we change? What do we do? Do we come a different approach? Do we set up differently? Do we, there's just a lot of different things that we can do to continue to grow. So don't just keep doing the same thing if it's not working. Let's figure out a different way. When I started with open houses, and you guys heard my story, I started with a 32-ounce Pepsi and a bunch of flyers, and I tackled people when they came in the door. So, and I went from that to constantly changing to adding things each time. So now I have a full-blown production where I have tables of stuff on the wall. I have stuff in the kitchen. I have so much stuff that I offer of value. And then I even changed my approach. I went from sitting in the chair, waiting for someone to come in to having a whole different way. I have a tour, I greet them, I have a tour, I have a whole process because it works. I had to figure it out. I had to ask a lot of questions. And so if whatever you're doing seems stagnant to you, then come in and talk to me. I mean, come in. I mean, I know I seem like I'm a busy guy, but I will make time for you. I will make time for you. I promise you that. So, because we do want to help, and this is important to us this summer. In fact, we cleared the whole training calendar just to do this, just to have the summer series. So, and we're going to continue to do that. We want your feedback on it, what you liked about it, what you'd like to see more of, things like that, so we can continue to add classes, on the calendar to continue to help you guys grow. Okay. So today I wanted to talk about, and it was actually a clever title that Evo created. And it surprised me for a second because when we wrote down the classes and I was going to teach the class today, and I'm like, connected collective. I'm like, where did that come from? I don't remember writing that down. But it makes sense. It really does make sense for what we're going to talk about today because honestly, how can we get more connections? How can we connect more? And then in turn, if we're connecting right and we're following up, building the relationship, that's when we're going to start to collect. And there's a lot of different ways. Now, it's not just revenue, but you can collect referrals too, right? So referrals are just as good as collecting revenue, right? So I'm gonna talk about 4, maybe 5 things. I might add something in here. Actually, maybe 6 things that I'm actually talking about. At least 5 or 6 different ways that you guys are gonna be able to network, really connect and really generate some revenue from it. Okay, so some of it you're probably not, it may not seem new to you, but you may not be doing it. And so that's really what I want to cover. So some of it might seem a little bit redundant, but it's important because when we're trying to drive it home that this should be integrated into your business every day. So if you're not doing that, then we're going to make sure that you're going to integrate it into your business starting today. Okay. So has everybody got the sheets? Do you want to hand out the sheets to them?
I did, I gave it to them.
Huh?
They got it.
You all got it?
Yeah.
So you all have, so I'm going to start with the one that I've talked about the most. I might not be in quite order, but that's okay. So you have this sheet right here. All right. So I'm going to start with Power Partners because I think it's a really powerful one, and it's one that will take a little bit of time. So this is a little exercise we're going to do in here. Do everybody online have this too?
I can host.
Well, if you're online, guys, take a piece of paper, and I want you to just a blank piece of paper, and I want you just to, you can see that. Can they see that?
Yeah.
It says house and business. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So just take a blank piece of paper, draw a line down the middle. On one side, write house. On the other side, write business. Okay. And then here's what I want you to do. Real simple exercise. In Relentless Agent, by the way, the agents, you'll do this exercise in the class, but it's okay to do it now too. Okay. So what I want you to do is there's 2 types of partners that you work with in real estate. Okay. So one is everything to do with the house. So right now, what I want you to do is take a couple minutes and write down, if you might as well just write the names down. The type of power partner, and then you can write their name and number down later in email. But I want you to write down like plumber, electrician, everything to do with the house. You need to start building a list right now if you don't have it. Okay. So those of you that are referring your clients to things that they need, everything to do with the home. So a cleaner, landscaper, electrician, plumber, contractor, handyman, AC person, home inspector, the title company. Now, the reason you're going to have title company is you usually refer to the beginning of the transaction. Is it possible that you refer a title company to a client that isn't closing a transaction? Yes.
Yeah.
Because if they have to do a quick claim deed, there's certain things the title company can do that can help a client if they need it. Okay. So that's not just for your transaction. It can be for other things too. So start making that list. Okay. You can continue this exercise later, but right now, as you start writing all these down, you're going to go out and find them. The ones that you already have, write in their name, their number, their email. Here's the second thing you're going to do. You are going to build this out in Chime. You're going to put all of your partners, everything to do with the house for your client, you're going to put these people in Chime. So you have them in there. Guess well, yeah. On the Barrett Real Estate app, we will have all the power partners that we have in there that'll be listed in there as well. But pretty soon, you guys are all going to be able to put all yours in there as well. So we're going to have a massive list in there. We'll figure that out. But either way, build this list, put them in Chime. Your lender should be in Chime. Hopefully, it's a Barrett financial lender. If not, we really encourage you. We appreciate it if you guys would refer your business to Barrett Financial. It does help Barrett Real Estate when you do that. So, but I get it if you have a preferred lender, that's okay too. But really love when you do that. But put your lender in there. Put everybody in there. That makes sense? Okay. So you are going to get referrals from this group. You won't get as many or as often because honestly, in this group, you don't care. You care about connecting, but the most important piece of this section is that they take care of your client. They need to be that good because when they're that good, then they make you look good. And the client doesn't get that, and that's where more referrals will come down the pipe. So, everybody good with that piece? Okay, good. So, everything to do with the house, anything you can think of, do with the house, you're gonna build out that list. And I'm willing to bet most of you, how many of you in this room have done this? How many of you have this list built out? Yeah, so we even got a so-so here. So this is critically important to customer service for your clients. Okay, you want to look like a rock star agent, you need to have this stuff ready to be able at the tip of your, ready to go. Somebody asks you, yes, I have an electrician, he's amazing, I'm gonna send Will over to you right now, and if you send it, it's done. Not, you gotta go find someone, and 3 hours later, you're sending someone, you're not even sure how good they are because you had to get the referral from someone else. So now you're taking a chance that they're gonna be good for your client. And then what happens if it's not? What happens if it goes bad? They rip the client off, upcharge them, don't even finish the work or whatever. Guess what that client's gonna do? Bye. Because they're not gonna trust you now. So this is important. And I don't know how many of you are doing it, but you should be doing it. Build these relationships with these. These are not necessarily sit-down meetings, but wouldn't hurt to call them. Wouldn't hurt to say, hey, you came highly, you're an electrician. Came highly recommended from Michael Marlowe, who mentioned that you're a great electrician. And in my business, I'm in front of like 70 plus people a month. So I'm looking for someone that's going to take really good care of my clients. Are you too busy to take my business? And they, of course, they're probably not going to say no, but you say, all right, well, yeah, I trust Michael. And from the sound of it, it sounds like you've been in business for 15 years and you do great work, and I'm going to give you a chance. And then you start from there until you find the person that's actually does an amazing job for your client, right? That way you're always going to get that thumbs up from your clients, but more than that, they're going to continue to refer you. I gotta tell you, I got an electrician. Every single time I refer my electrician to someone, he's kind of retired now, he's not even really working, but every time I refer him, I got a call from the client. Every single time. Big thank you, Michael. Thank you so much for referring Blow over. He was amazing. He did extra work. He was reasonable. He was just really, it was just a great experience. Thank you so much. And that to me is gold, because they don't forget me and they know they're going to refer him to other people, right? And then when they learn, oh, my realtor referred me that electrician. So when he does a great job for that client and that friend says, oh, where'd you get this guy? Oh, I got him from my realtor. My realtor referred me. And this guy's amazing, right? My name gets passed around. So eventually someone's going to say, wow, yeah, hey, I need a realtor. You know what I mean? So everything to do with the house, start building the list, start reaching out to your sphere or other people, because you don't care how many realtors are working with, you care how they take care of your client. Okay. No, you will get referrals. Like Will, for example, did give me a referral. I did his daughter's house. I sold her house, and then he learned so much from me that his daughter became a real estate agent, and both my mom and I both helped mentor her a little bit in real estate. So I did get referral business for it, but I didn't ask for it. So, and in this one, you don't really look, again, not looking for it. Now, the second piece of this is the business side of it. Now, this, you do care about getting business from this section. Now, what I want you to do is the same exercise, and you could start it here today, but I want you to start thinking about every business owner you know. Hairstylist, nail technician, car dealer, CPA, financial advisor, real estate attorney, divorce attorney, even bartenders, all different types of business owners and relationships that you have. You're going to start writing these down. Okay. And you start getting their name and their phone number. Now, if you don't have them, this list can be extensive. So it can be, you need to build it out and start asking for your sphere for different things. I just gave you about 10, but there's more. There's all kinds of businesses, restaurant owners. All kinds of people. There people are connecting with people. So even if they were a waitress, at a very popular place, I'm sure they meet a lot of people. So, it's all about these different professions that you can connect with and really help each other build a business. Now, a little bit harder to refer business to a waitress because you can just refer to that restaurant, but for a CPA or for a tax account or for a financial advisor or for car dealership or people that you can refer these people business. That makes sense. And I guess you can't keep sending people in. Hey, you got to go to this restaurant and you got to see my friend Amber. I know you do that, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
So you got to go see Amber at this place because now she means the server, the food's good. You can still do that. That does benefit you because if they do come in and specifically request you, you get the table, you get the tip, right? So it can be done. I mean, no matter what their business is, but start thinking about everybody that's outside of the house. Now, where this becomes powerful, this is, I think, one of the most powerful things you can do if you can get the group to do it. Now, we're going to talk about networking groups in a second because you can actually go and join those groups, and they're going to do exactly what I'm doing. But what I'm doing is on so much of a personal level, whereas this is more of like just like a business, right? That you're joining, that you're doing it. And I'll explain the difference. Concepts are the same, but the way I go about it is different because I make it more personal with the people that I'm relating to. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to try to find at least 10. Let's start with 5, but try to find 10. Okay. Anywhere from 5 to 10 will, either way, it's going to help you significantly with your business. But what I want you to do is I want you to get a meeting with them. I'm going to give you the script. Did we put the script in there?
Yeah, I just gave it to the account.
Okay, so the script is in there, and I'm just going to tell you. I'm not going to read it off the paper because I've done it so many times. But in my version that I say might be just a little bit different than whatever you put in there. But he took my script, and I'm sure he made it a little bit better. So, but here's what I do to get these meetings. So first, I build out my list of all the different people I want to contact in these different companies. And then I'm going to go and call them one by one. So if I go, hey, Mr. CPA, this is Michael Marlowe. I'm with Barrett Real Estate, and Evo Howard connected me with you and said that you're an amazing CPA. And the reason for my call is I'm looking for like-minded people to help each other expand and grow our business. And, I'm in front of, on average, over 75 people a month that might be in need of your services. So I just wondered if I could take some time with you, maybe meet for coffee or lunch, so we could talk about maybe we could work together. Would Tuesday or Thursday work for you? And give them some times. Now, most people aren't going to say no to that. Now they might, because they might already have 5 realtors and they're not looking to work with another realtor, and they're got, maybe they do, but that's okay because they go on to the next one, right? But if most of them are going to say yes, well, you're in front of a lot of people every month. And yeah, I'd love to meet with you. Let's meet for coffee. And then then I schedule the coffee or the lunch, and then I go to the meeting. And then when I'm there, here's what I do. This is how I want to earn their business. But I make a couple things very clear. So first, I'm going to say with the pleasantries, hey, Mr. CPA, thanks so much for meeting me today. I really appreciate that. Evo Howard highly recommend you, and it says you do an amazing job. And so I'd love to learn a little bit more about you. And then how long you been in the business? Now I'm kind of just going to go right into the questions, but I'm going to talk it out with them, right? I'm going to interview them. How long have you been in the business? How many realtors do you work with? That's an important one. I don't come with that one right away. I come with them later. But how many people are you in front of on average a month? And then I get to those important questions. And then from there, once I find out how many realtors are working with, that's a big one. Because if they're working with multiple realtors, unless I'm going to be number 1 or 2, depending on how big their business is, I'm not interested. And I'll let them know that. I'll let them know up front. I said, unless I'm going to be number 1 or number 2, I'm not interested because I'm really committed to this. And once it said, but I will explain how I do it, because when you explain what you do, they might want to put you to number 1. So, and this is how I explain what I do. So after I interviewed and talked to them and all that stuff, then I'm going to say, okay, here's what I do. This is how I work with other people like you in this business to help each other grow our business. My goal is I do what I call give back calls every day. Every day I do give back calls. And what do I mean by give back call? Well, the give back call is for me, I'll make at least 10 or 15 calls a day to have 3 to 5 live conversations with people and how I can help them. Because in my profession, and this is me explaining to CPA, in my profession, I am the focal point of everything. I have a lot of connections, much like yourself, you have connections, but I have connections throughout the transaction. There's so many different moving pieces when I'm working with clients and friends and family and things like that, that I'm connected. So what I do is I try to get back. I try to help. How can I help you? That's literally my call. I will call up and say, hey, Amber, how are you doing today? Hey, great. Hey, I really enjoyed working with you on your transaction last month. How are things going? Great. Okay. Hey, listen, I just wonder if there's anything I can help you with today. Is there anything you need? Because in real estate, you know, I'm connected with a lot of resources, and being moved into a new home, there might be things you need. I'm ready to help. How can I help you? And then she might go, well, we need a new landscaper, or we need this or whatever. But sometimes people do need help with things, you know, and they might sometimes even say, well, I don't know if you can help me or not. Well, what's the issue? Maybe I can. You know, I mean, if they say, well, I'm going through a divorce, you know, well, do you have a divorce attorney? Because I know one. I know a good one that can help you. So you can help people in just about every scenario. Just about every scenario. You don't be everyone, but you can help people. So, and that's what I explained to the Mr. CPA is that, hey, this is what I do. So I'm making over 100 calls a month to try to refer you business. Over 100 calls to refer you business. That's my goal. I want to help other people and connect them to what they need. I'm looking for like-minded people, and that's what I'm going to say to them. I'm looking for someone that's willing to do the same, because I believe if we had a group of 5 people all committed to do the very thing that I'm doing, how much our businesses will grow, because we'd be constantly referring to each other all the time.
So Mike, if you don't know the CPA, Evo didn't recommend the CPA, are you cold calling them?
Yeah, well, like I was just mentioning, I would ask for referrals for a good CPA. And then I would actually call that CPA and state my intention, just like I was saying. Like I would say, hey, I'm looking to build a relationship with a good CPA because I need someone to refer to. So that's the reason for my call.
Who are you asking for a referral to a CPA?
To get the CPA?
Yeah.
Yeah, my sphere of influence, anybody I know. I'm just going to start asking around to everyone. I'm going to go through my phone. I got 2,400 people in there. I'm going to start saying, hey, you know, good CPA? I'm looking for a good CPA. And that's another great reason to call your database. Just another touch if you want to add. If you're looking for business, what a great way to connect with your database. Hey, hope you're doing well. You know, hey, I was hoping you could help me with something. You know, I'm looking for a good CPA. You know what?
Okay, so like as an example, okay, if I wanted to call insurance agents, right? Because homeowners insurance, people they're moving into the area, they need homeowners.
100%. You know,
am I calling the database, or can you just walk?
Well, you've got your own insurance agent, so you could actually call your insurance agent and say, hey, I'd like to help. I mean, are you interested in collaborating with me to grow our business? I want to refer to you, will you refer to me?
Some of them are online and not in the area, so what I'm trying to do is connect somebody local.
Say that again, Mel?
A lot of insurance agents are online.
Yeah.
Okay, so they may be in a different state. Like if I called Geico right now,
Then find someone local.
that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, my guy's local, so he's in Queen Creek, and his wife is a real estate agent. He still referred me business.
Okay.
So him and I actually worked in a B&I group together, and we both left the B&I group because they just weren't doing the concept like we're doing. That's the premise of these groups, and some of them work really well because that's what they do, and then a lot don't, because it tends to be more takers than givers that go to these groups, because they're just looking for the business instead of really. The concept's amazing, it works. So if you just get like-minded people that are going to go out and say, yeah, I'm committed to asking if people need help, and yeah, let's do this thing. I teach in my script. I say, this is all I say. This is what I do. And I get amazing results because they always need help with something. So for me, at least 5 times a day, 3 to 5 times a day, I got someone live that I'm looking to refer to my group. And then I would even stay in the attention, because the first time I did it was just like, hey, I need 10 people. I'm just gonna focus on 10, because I can't do 20. But if I can do 10 businesses, I can make it over 100 calls a month and refer to this group. But you could, you could expand it, but I wouldn't. I would get, I would go to 10 and get 10 people, and watch how much business you get just from that group, if they're doing it. Thing is to get somebody as hungry as you that's willing to make those calls and help people out. It works if you get the right people doing it. Now, if you go meet 10 people and they're all like, yeah, I love it, go bring me business, and then they're not, because they're the takers, they're just waiting to get stuff from you, it's not going to work. So you got to get people that are like-minded, and you're going to have to check in, because I always make sure that I'm referring people. So if I referred them 3 or 5 deals and they referred me nothing in 3 months, I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? I'm wanting to first see how things are going with those 3 to 5 people I referred over to you, but was also looking to see how's it going. Haven't got anything from you. And then if they're going to say, oh yeah, well, this or that, I'd say, hey, we made a commitment. So, and if you're not up for doing that, then I'm sorry, but I'm going to find someone that is, because I know how important it is for each of us to grow our business together, and I want to help you, but I need reciprocation. I need someone that's going to help me too. So it's important to make sure you make that clear. Because they're not willing, and you say, hey, if you're not committed to this, that's okay. I get it. I'm looking for someone that is. If you're too busy to do this, that's great. Does that make sense? You'll find someone that is. You'll find someone that won't be too busy to make the calls and help each other out. But I promise your business will expand dramatically if you get the right people doing this. So, questions on that? Everybody's good with the script and how to do that? This should be something you integrate. So those of you that are time blocking your day, this is something you can do. You've been in the class, or you've been in Relentless, that you know that you got to start making your give back calls, your gratitude calls, all that stuff. But if you're not, this is something you need to add. You need to go in and start building this network and start making these calls and start doing this every day. Put it into your calendar. It'll be one step closer to whatever your goal is, wherever you want to be. I think all of you have been in there where you did the business sheet where you have your number, right? Yeah. So you got that number. Here's another way to start earning, making that number. Because you got 10 new people, you got to go out and prospect, right? So that's going to count towards your number per day that you're going to go out and prospect and get their information and start building a relationship. So, questions on that? No? Are we excited yet? Yeah? All right. Well, I promise you it'll work if you do it. Really put the time in and do that. So, all right, I'm going to go right into the networking groups. Okay. So there are networking groups out there like BNI, Toastmasters, Chamber of Commerce. These are things you could be involved in too. Now, when I did BNI, for example, I did it for 2 years and then I stopped because I just got one deal a year out of it. Now that paid for me to go there and be there because it cost me $350 a year, I think it was, and my time. So my time every week to go in, be part of a group. I think there was 28 of us or so in the group. And my insurance guy, we became fast friends. We were both from Illinois. We connected right away. He's been my insurance agent ever since. And him and I, in the 2 years we were there, we gave more referrals in the entire history of the group. They've been together for 8 years. We were giving 5 to 10 referrals a week each. He was usually giving more than me. I would be at least five a week I'd be coming in with. You'd be surprised how many people come in with nothing. Come in with 0, but they'll take your referrals. It's not that they're bad people or anything like that. It's just that they never really grasped the concept of giving. They were just there to promote their stuff, and hopefully somebody had a referral for them. And once in a while, they might have one, they might give a referral, but they never actively went and got them. They just waited for a referral to come in to hand it out. I'll give you an example of what I mean. So we were in there one day, and me and we're at a point where we're like, we wanted to bring it up to the group. And so we did. We said, hey, listen, we've come today and we just have a question. And we said, because between the two of us, I think we brought almost 15 referrals. Almost 15 between the two of us, which was more than the entire 28 people in the group we even gave out that day. There were only a handful more referrals that actually went out that day. So we said we wanted to talk about this because it seems like every week there's only a handful of referrals besides what we're doing being given. And then, of course, someone shot. I was a lender at the time. I wasn't a realtor. I was a lender. And they all said, "Hey, well, how we refer you as a lender? If you know, we're waiting for someone to tell us that we got a refi or they're purchasing, and then we usually go to the realtor, and then the realtor, of course, will then try to refer us." And I said, "Well, you guys all know that part of my business is realtors, right?" So we had a realtor in the group, and I said, "Raise your hand if all of you know at least one realtor." Of course, they all raised their hand. Said, "There's a referral. You can refer that agent to me so that I can have a conversation with them and a chance to earn their business." But that's what I mean. So, but these groups can be really good because the ones that get it, they get it, and they're passing referrals every week. Now, there may be a cost to these groups, and it can be worth it because if you can get in, the realtor and the lender are the hardest ones to get a position in these groups. They're usually the ones that are the hardest to get. But if you can, it can be worth it. Like I said, I closed one deal a year off of it, so I went for 2 years, and then after that, me and my buddy Brandon just started our own thing. We just had our own little group of network, and we didn't have to meet once a week. We all just knew we were referring each other. We would just start calling and doing those give back calls and start referring and handing out those referrals. So, those work. Chamber of Commerce works. What's great about some of these events, or some of these groups, is they do events so that you do get a chance to go and meet more people. And of course, that's connecting, right? So if you can go to one of these groups and you do connect, like I connected with the guy that we referred back and forth to each other, that was worth the money because I got a lot of business from him. And we just started referring back and forth. He got all my business for insurance. I got a bunch of business. I got a bunch of loans and stuff. Even though his wife was a realtor and she had a lender, I still got business. So, and that could benefit you. So if you do go to a group and you do connect with a few people and you are referring back and forth, it can be worth it. It really can. So those groups can be something else that you can add. Now there's also meetup groups. I think Evo put something in there, right? Is there something in there on that? But you can go to, I just typed in Facebook, I just typed meetup groups. And of course, there's one for Scottsdale, there's one for Mesa, there's one, and those meetup groups, you can try to join as well and then be part of a group that you can go in and share knowledge. There's all kinds of different meetup groups. So if you did join one of those, make sure you read the description of what it takes to actually belong to that group and how often they meet up and maybe what topic it is. I mean, there's investor groups out there. There's all different kinds of groups that you could join. But what it means for you is more connections, and more connection leads to more referrals if you're building those relationships, right? So there's another thing that you can add to what you're doing every day, every month, right? And you can add that in. Questions on that? Okay. So, let's get into some other ways to really grow your sphere. Well, one is how many of you, like, social media presence is another one, right? I know it sounds like a social media class, but it's like one aspect of it that can really get you engaged, start connecting more. So you could do your own personal videos out there. You could start asking questions out there. There's a lot of different things to engage with people in social media, but you got to try to be engaging, not just showing people what you're doing. Does that make sense? Not just posting a video without trying to engage with them. So the video doesn't need to be hey, we're at Disneyland today, we're having a great day, that's great. Because you're letting the world know you're human and you like to go on vacation, you like to do stuff. But I'm talking about, just, getting people to talk about something with you, right? I know a gentleman that put a post today out there, and he just put a question that said, what's the best real estate brokerage for collaboration? And it just, boom, 50, 60 comments on it. And all these different people are chiming in with their brokerage, saying, oh, it's EXP or KW or whoever. It was all these different people were putting it in there. But he did exactly what he was looking for, which was getting a conversation going. And so, of course, he was responding to a lot of people. And I thought, that's great, because he's starting a conversation. And that's where you want to start making connections. You never know who you connect with at that point, which could become a great referral source, a great relationship, right? That's part of connecting. So if you are doing every day, like I try to go out there 2 or 3 times a day and try to engage with realtors. We had a realtor just sign up because I knew her from a long time ago, and she had posted something. I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't talked to her in a long time. Reached out to her, joined the brokerage. And almost because of the relationship, because we have a good relationship. Great agent, great person, and we just hadn't talked in a while, and boom. All because I went out and tried to connect, tried to have a conversation. There's a messenger and say, hey, how you been? How's it going? How's your husband? How are things going? We started talking. Next thing you know, we're on the phone. Then she come in and meet with us. Here she is. So it can be a useful tool to connect. And then one way to make it even better on social media is to separate everyone in your Facebook in lists so you can communicate with that list specifically. So it's more effective communication when you're sending stuff out. Project to put everybody in list, but once you get it there, then you can really communicate. Because once you go to that list and you communicate, just them are the only ones that see it. And so it's when they're engaging, now you can engage with that group. So connect, right? Some other things that you can do is monthly, quarterly happy hours. This is something that, especially for your clients, like if you want to just stay connected with them, happy hour doesn't necessarily mean you got to go out drinking, right? It can be anything. You can go to, you can go to Top Golf, you can go bowling, you can, we got a group doing this Saturday. It's a huge production they're doing, okay? And they're doing Little Mermaid, and they've got a whole movie theater, not the whole movie theater, but a whole, its own 250 seat auditorium for the mermaid, but they're doing a presentation first. So they're doing an announcement, and then they invited all these people to come see the Little Mermaid. They even have someone coming that's dressed like the Little Mermaid. It's gonna be singing to the kids and stuff. And then there's gonna be a photo booth. It's gonna be pretty cool. But they're connecting with all of the people they know, right? So they're inviting all these people in because they're connecting with them, make an announcement, they're gonna give their gratitude, they're gonna do all this stuff that is connecting with. It's ways to continue to grow, right? So the connect and collect. So on the collect part of that is, I'll share with you another why this is so powerful, because I'm almost, I can't guarantee it, but I'm almost guarantee you that they're going to get business from that event. Because someone's going to say, hey, I need a refi, or I have my sister's going to list her house. You guys should talk to her, Guarantee you, because every time I've ever been at an event like that, like when I was a lender, one of my realtors was the top 10 in the Southeast Valley. Him and his wife, they were amazing. And they used to do at least 7 to 10 deals a month. And I got about half that business. It was me and another person that get all the business. I like to think I got all the business, but I didn't. But I was I was like their number one go-to lender. And then another guy would get other business. But anyway, he did an event where he bought 200 tickets to the Diamondbacks. And he had this section where you could go up and get hot dogs or whatever else stuff. And he had this section. And I went there. And what was cool about it was a client appreciation event. So it was just having this event for all these clients. And he literally would tell every single person, because I can't tell you how many people went up to him and tried to talk business. And he's like, no business today. let's talk tomorrow. But I can tell you as his lender, I got 4 transactions out of that day, and I know he got more than 4 transactions out of that day. So he spent like $2,000 for this whole thing, or maybe a little bit more, and ended up with 4 deals. So you can imagine he made over $27,000, and not because that's what he was doing it for. He was connecting and sharing and grateful for all this stuff, and people referred him. So, I mean, those of you that have been in the business a while, how many of you are actually doing client appreciation? I don't care if you got 2 people, I don't care if there's 2 clients. You should have a lunch with them. Have a lunch as your appreciation for them working with you as their realtor. You got to show appreciation, right? Gratitude. So I don't care if you got 2 people or 200 people, find a way. And those of you that have bigger groups, sometimes you can share events. I know they get a little leery about them stealing clients, but if you guys are good realtors, you're not going to do that. You know what I mean? But sometimes it's a way to get the cost down, because you can get a park together and you get all this stuff, and everybody can enjoy the day. You know what I mean? Especially if you're in the same brokerage, right? If you're in different brokers, it might be different. But the point is, there's a lot of different ways to have client appreciation stuff and ways to continue to connect. And if you're not doing that, you're doing yourself a disservice, especially if you closed 20 deals last year and you haven't reached out to, other than your automation, you haven't reached out to them. That's, man, you're shooting yourself in the foot there. Because 91% of people want to refer you. You've heard me say this before. 91% of people want to refer you, only 11% ask. So if you're not asking, and there's not always a direct ask, it's an indirect ask. An indirect ask is saying, hey, you guys, I've so enjoyed working with you guys this year. I'm inviting you all to a dinner, or I'm inviting you all to an event, whatever it is that you put on to show your appreciation to that. That's showing appreciation that way. You can do it monthly, you can do it. I would do it twice a year, especially when you get bigger. You want to try to do it twice a year. But the other things, like the next thing down is Popeyes. So I don't know about you, but when you guys hand your keys over to a client, okay, and you're saying thank you, that's a direct ask for business, by the way. That whenever you hand the keys over, you should directly ask for a referral, right? Closing table, and when you hand the keys over. But you should also do something nice for them, right? At the closing, or I mean, when you hand the keys over, then sometimes you should get a testimonial, but you should also provide them something nice, usually a closing gift or whatever you're doing, could be on that day. But what about after that? You should stop by once in a while, or call them live once in a while, right? Do that. You just continue to connect with them. A lot of people on Thanksgiving go deliver pies to all their clients. It's just one more touch, they go out. You get the $6 pies at Costco, so they'll go and get 50 pies, and then they go out and deliver them. Thank you for the business. We appreciate you. Hoping different ways to continue to connect with that. Coffee, lunch meetings. This is one way. Now, I like to go to lunch. No, I am. I am sorry. I got that from my dad. God love him, but my dad was a master connector. And my dad would always, when we went to lunch, there was always somebody in the business that he was going to lunch with. And I can't tell you how much knowledge was dropped at these things, because if you actually go with someone, don't just go to shoot the shit, so to speak. Collaborate, talk, what's going on. People used to invite my dad to lunch just so they could milk him for knowledge. Because like all of his experience in real estate and mortgage, all that stuff, it was always amazing to see the ones that were always, especially the ones that wanted to scale up and grow. They would always be, oh, we're going to lunch with so-and-so, we're going there with so-and-so. And I'd be like, okay, and that's when I first started with them. But I didn't realize we're always going to lunch, but it was always productive. It was good laughs, but productive. So you guys, this is a way to connect. Yeah, I mean, it's expensive. Especially these days, right? We go to lunch, holy crap, man, $60 for 2 people. It's like, but I still connect. We do some great brainstorming. I know Evo decides to join us. We're always talking. Are we not talking about stuff all the time?
Yeah.
Hey, how do we do this better? How do we do that? Frank and I go all the time, because that's all we do is share ideas. we should do this, we should do that, we should, I mean, all these different things. And we come up with some really good stuff. Michael and I go all the time, not just to talk about the company, but we're always doing the same thing. We're always just, hi, how do we get better? How do we grow? How do we provide more to the agents? What about this? What about that? So you can do this. Coffee, lunch meetings, meet, collaborate, learn, connect, and you realize just how much business you might get from it. Right, insurance guy? When we used to meet for coffee, we meet for lunch, we'd always talk about how do we help each other more. A couple times we went wakeboarding, but then we still collaborated, right? But can't do that all the time. It's not always you take the day off, but he would call me and be like, hey, I got the boat. You in? Yeah, let's go. I don't have any clients today. Let's go. But anyway, you can connect. Okay, that's the point. You should constantly be connecting. If you haven't got it by now, and everything that I've been talking about, is you should be continually connecting with people all the time, no matter where you're at, no matter where you go. Be friendly, be nice, say hello, be kind, open the door. People acknowledge you, acknowledge back, be kind, talk.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
Well, I have two things. So one, a really easy way to reach out to people. I mean, everybody's probably heard me say this a million times. I will randomly, all the time, slide into people's like other agents' DMs all the time and just go and say, hey, especially if you're new. When I was like brand new, I would just tell people, hey, I'm new. I don't really know anything. I would let you seem like you know what you're doing. So you want to go have lunch or coffee or whatever, and then like you could tell me about like how you do business and stuff like that. And then I would meet with a bunch of people like that, and then eventually they would end up like referring me deals because granted I live in Queen Creek, so no one wants to ever drive to Queen Creek or like Santan, but I would get deals from that all the time, like just from simple stuff like that. And then just yesterday, or was it yesterday? I think it was Monday. I forgot that I had a chair listed on Facebook Marketplace that I was selling that's been sitting in my garage for like 3 years. And someone messaged me and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, you can come pick it up. They come, then they're like, oh, this actually isn't the right color. And I'm like, oh, darn, okay. Well, and then they're in my garage and they're like looking at all my stuff, and I have like project stuff. And they're like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm a real estate agent. And they're like, oh, you're a real estate agent? And I'm like, yeah, of course. And then they're like, oh, we have some friends that are looking to buy a house. And I'm like, oh, okay, perfect. Yeah. So then I gave them, for one, I showed them my popple, and the girl thought that was amazing.
Right.
And then I found out that she runs a speech therapy business. And she was like, oh yeah, give me all your info. And then I told her about the Barrett real estate app. And then she's like, oh, okay, cool. I can send that to them. And I was like, yeah, and they can download it and they can look for homes and all that stuff. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And then I think we're going to go have lunch next week. So I'm like, what the heck?
I mean, what more do you need? I mean, this is what I've been trying to shout out the rooftops here about making these connections, right?
And that just happened from someone trying to buy it. Here's me.
I've heard 4 stories in the last. I've heard one from Doug Summers, from Adeline, from you. I mean, I'm hearing it. People are starting to realize, oh, this works. These 4 scripts that I give, they're not intrusive. It sounds like you're not really working your business, but you are. You are. Because I'm sure the relationship's going to continue to build here, and down the road, they know their agent. They're already ready to hand out a zap to other people. So that's gold. That's gold, right?
She was like, too, she was like, oh, could you show me how to make one of those digital business card things for my stuff? I was like, sure.
Yeah. So you can see that connect. You guys need to be doing this every day. Now, there's other ones in here. We talked a little bit about social media, client appreciation events, charity events. Now, man, if you're not involved, get involved. As a company, we're choosing a couple different charities that we want to be involved in, and we're going to go and participate or give. Either way. And I think it'd be a great idea for all the different charities everybody likes. And like Feed My Starving Children is kind of cool because you do a little team building, you play music, you do all that stuff, and it's kind of fun. And you're still helping people in other countries. I'd like to do something else too, but this is a great way to just feel good for helping other people. But at the same time, you get to collaborate with others. So if you get involved in the charity, you're going to meet other people. Especially something that's near and dear to your heart. You're going to be involved, but you're going to feel good about it, but you're going to connect. I know a couple people that do this and they get business from it, not because they're trying, it just happens because like, oh, you're a realtor? Oh, that's great. Hey, we could use some help. We're thinking of listing our home, or so and so. But it's not because you're going there to hand out your business cards. You're going because you're connecting with others for something you enjoy doing. And then through that connection and those relationships, business happens.
Add something else. So we did, these people were part of another brokerage, but there are other agents that I'm friends with, and we just do stuff all the time. But we did this, so we created this, like, granted, they actually don't do real estate anymore, but we created like this group of like a bunch of different realtors, like 5 or 6 of us, and we called it the Heroes of Equity, which is like, if you abbreviate it, it's HO. And we thought that was the funniest thing, but we did a bunch of events, and then we did on Halloween, I think it was a couple days before Halloween or whatever, we did a huge, we called it a Ho party. And so at their like condo that they had a condo in like downtown Phoenix, but they have a huge like community room, and you can rent it out for like $250 or something like that for the whole day. So, and it has like a bar, everything. So we rented out, and we just literally walked around the entire building, 20 something floors or whatever, went to every building and just gave them all flyers and said, hey, come to this party for free. We'll have alcohol and stuff. And then literally everybody came down there, and then, inevitably we exchanged cards. People were like, oh, this is cool. Like,
Yeah.
and it was pretty cheap. It wasn't too
You
expensive.
just made an event and then you made a lot of connections, and that's really what you're trying to do. But where does this all lead, right? So it leads to more people in your database, more people you get to follow up with, the more people you keep in touch with, the more you keep building a relationship, which turns into more referrals. You've heard me say this before, that if every person that you actually take care of in your database over their lifetime, it's like 7.5 referrals that you'll get from that. Just that's the average. But when someone really likes you and trusts you, you're going to probably get 5 times that. They're going to refer you constantly. You might get 7 transactions out of them over their life, but then not only who they refer you, right? So I tell you these numbers because it's just important to build and grow your database so that your future, not right now, but in 6 months into a year, you're going to start going from 0 business to 1 or 2 deals to 10 deals to 40 deals. And there's someone, Michelle's been doing this for a long time, and you've built up your referral base. And now you can consistently close 50 transactions without even contacting people because of what you've done over all the years of establishing relationships. So she doesn't have to go do open houses if she doesn't want to. She can, but point is she built this connections over years, and that's what you're trying to do here. You're trying to start the connections, maintain the connections, build the connections, right? Let go of the ones that are not interested, right? The ones that are negative, whatever, get rid of them. The ones that want to stay connected with you, build and maintain those relationships and keep that going. So, there's other ways. I know there's a sheet here that says ways to build your database, but there are other ways to connect. Open houses, okay? Open houses are great. We talk about all the time. If you're on the lead program, you're making connections there, and you're going to continue to build a relationship. So that's another way. We've already talked about sphere of influence, but networking events, charities, church, school, these are all different ways. Now, I want to make sure that I drive it home that when you're going to your church and you're going to the charities, that you're there for that purpose. You maintain and build the relationships that you have there. Business will come from it because someone's going to eventually ask you, what do you do? Especially if they know you for a while. And then they're going to learn that you do that. And then natural, it's going to be referring to you. If you're going there to hand out business cards, you're doing it wrong. It's not, the idea is to prospect and make connections, but let's take that a step further. So prospecting a lot of times from the business mindset is that I'm going on a mission to collect free business cards, right? And that's a fair goal. That's a fair goal to do that. But when you go with the intention of business, that's where I think you lose. That's where I think it doesn't work out, because some of these events are meant for you to go business wise. It's meant to go to meet someone. So my goal is to meet 3 new people. If I can capture their information, it's because I want to build a relationship with them. I have a different mindset when I go to do that. I go to do that because I generally want to meet them. I want to know them and I want to talk to them. I want to learn more about them. So that's my goal from capturing that. And I believe you give off a different type of energy when you do that. I believe that people can feel that you're working in the business versus really getting to know them. So I think if we change the mindset on these connections to be more about actually meeting people and connecting with people, then I think your business is going to be far better than it will be if you're just seeking the commission. There is a difference. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm not saying that you can't go with the business mindset, get 3 people business-wise, and end up working with one. It's totally possible. It happens all the time. But if you want a long-term business, someone that like Michelle, who's enjoying a nice referral-based business, it's because of relationships and connections and how you've maintained those relationships and kept in contact with them, not just because you chased the commission and got in closer. I guarantee the ones that are going at it from the commission standpoint and the business standpoint are chasing business every single month because they're not bothering to maintain those relationships. The ones that are, well, great. That's just a longer journey, but it still can be done. I'm not going to say that doesn't work, because it does. I mean, we all started, that's how I started. I was chasing the commission and I closed only 10, but when I changed it to relationships, I closed 27. Big difference. So connect, right? So these will, now here's the important thing, try to tie this together, okay? How are we doing on time?
Good. 20 minutes.
Okay, 20 minutes, okay. So I gotta get going because I've got a couple more things I want to cover. I could talk for days, but anyway, now everything we talked about up to this point is not going to work unless you are using not only just technology and yourself to make it go. You have to maintain the relationship. It can't just be, all right, now I've met them, put them on one monthly drip campaign, and it's going to be okay. It's not. You have to be constantly reaching out to them, which is why, if like with the 4 scripts I gave you, right? You've got the reconnect, you got the give back, you got the gratitude, and you got the indirect ask for business call. 4 powerful scripts that work. So what you need to do is every time that you meet a client, you need to put them in a sequence, right? So if you've reconnected, which not everyone's going to be a reconnection, it's going to be someone you already know. But if it's a reconnection, the next call to be a few days later should be the gratitude call. It should be a thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me. I'm so glad we reconnected, and I promise to stay in touch. I look forward to speaking to you soon. I hope you have a great day. Now, I just breathlessly said that, right? But that's what you're going to say, but you're going to have a conversation, not just blurt that out and hang up, right? But you get the point. So you're going to thank them for the call. And then, so when you did the reconnect call, you've already scheduled that give back call. So in your system, your CRM, you made a note, you put them all in there because you just did the reconnect meeting. And then all their information is in the CRM, everything that you learned about them, because remember, you connected with them again and you asked them all about their life. Their life should be in your CRM. Everything you remember. So the next conversation is even easier. And then from that moment, you've scheduled your gratitude call. You could even schedule your give back call, and you could schedule your indirect ask call at that same moment. So each person you put into the system, you just made 3 more appointments with. So that when you wake up the next day, you're going to have your give back calls, your gratitude calls, your indirect ask calls. All these calls will be coming to you every day after you keep putting people in the system. So that you're constantly working that. So that means you're constantly asking for business and building relationships on those 4 calls alone. Right? So after you get back, then you got your great gratitude call, you got your back call. How can I help you? I want to help you. And that's your chance to really, again, acknowledge that, hey, I'm a realtor and my profession provides me with a lot of resources. I'm connected with a lot of people. So if you ever need anything, I want to be your go-to person. I want to help you. And that's that call, right? So you're actually asking them that, but you're also telling them that. So you remind them you're a realtor, and you're also saying, I want to help however I can. And then from there, you schedule out a little bit further, and then you got your indirect ask for business call, where you actually call them up It's now been a month and a half since you've been making connections. Now, in between there, doesn't hurt to say, hey, did you see the game? You know, you're doing different things to keep the connection, not just those 4 calls, okay? And hopefully they're reaching out to you too. One of our agents actually got invited to a baby shower when she did that. So I've heard, like I was saying earlier, people are like, wow, that means I'm going to be connected to a lot more people. But at the same time, she's building that relationship. She's going to share personal experience with that person to continue to build a relationship. So you can schedule those calls out, but then indirect ask calls to, hey, I'm thinking about you today. And as you know, I'm a realtor, just wondering if you feel comfortable, right? Go into the script. Now, here's the thing, guys. That script, you all have it. If you don't, I think they're all in there. I think
The
all in there.
4 are in the hard truth one.
If not, we'll get them to you. But
Where are they at?
They're gonna be in the other one, they're gonna be in the handout for the next one.
okay, so we're gonna have it for the next class.
Are they available on any of the software that you just go up and move down or?
No, but I guess we could do that.
What?
But I mean, I can email it to everybody.
Yeah, we'll make sure you guys get it. We'll make sure you have it. Okay, so
So,
anyway. Now you're doing all things you should be doing in your database. You're asking for business, you're reminding people you're a realtor, you're building relationships. That's what these 4 scripts are for. That's what they're for. And they're not intrusive and it works. Now, but it's not going to work if you don't do it. So if you are not putting people in there, making sure they're tagged, making sure they're in the system, they're in the right groups, they're in the right pipeline. How many of you got stuff in there in your CRM and it still says, and you put, well, I'm just going to use a number. You put 50 people in there and they're all still in new leads. How many are still? Yeah. Why? That means you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So I won't have to spank people later. So obviously, he knows better than that.
can I get
But-
video of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that costs money. Dave.
Hey, when I was in 8th grade, I went to a school in Oklahoma and there was a little pod and they spanked you. Like if you literally, they call it paddle. You got a paddle. And you had to go out. So in the center is this big open room and then all the classrooms are in a circle. So there's like 4 or 5 classrooms in it, but there's a big open center in the area. And what they would do is if you got in trouble, because you could see all the other classes are sitting in there, you got in trouble, they would take you to the middle of that room and all 5 classes would see you get paddled.
What the heck?
We think about that for a second.
That's
Oh.
crazy.
Our generation's gone through a lot.
I wish it's
all
easier to try to hit
generations
me.
for-
Yeah.
They get arrested.
Well, I know about you, but there was not a lot of things that happened because nobody wanted to be in the middle of that room getting paddled, right? So anyway,
Be a good thing.
so you guys, you got to tie it together, okay? All the different ways that you're connecting. Now, give me some. I'm gonna go over a couple more things, 2 more things that you should be doing that can make you money. So right now we're talking about connecting and collecting. So connecting and being serious about building genuine relationships, the money will come. Okay, so you got to go out there and build it. Sometimes the money comes fast. Sometimes it comes a little bit later. We all know that. That's part of pipeline building a business. You're doing all these different things to get people into your system that'll all be on a timeline. Not everybody's ready right now. So if you keep putting people in, I'll draw something real quick for you. I think I've done it for you before. But if you have a timeline where all these people are going in, they're not ready. This might be 2 years, right? 24 months, 18 months. You just keep making calls, keep doing open houses, and you keep moving along this timeline. And then eventually someone says, I'm ready now, and now you're working on a transaction. But because everybody's on their own timeline, everybody's not ready right now. You know, I talk to so many realtors all the time and say, I can't understand why they don't call me back. I haven't heard from that client. You haven't done it. So, and just yesterday, I was on a conversation with an agent said, hey, you remember that husband and wife that I was talking to, and I was wondering what the heck is going on. I was always complaining because I haven't heard from him. Well, the husband died. And she's like, now I feel bad because I was sitting there griping about it, but the husband died. That's why I haven't heard from him. And I'm like, yeah, and I try to remind people, you got to remember, everybody has their own life. They're doing their own thing. So you got to just be optimistic. And you got to just say, hey, they're not talking to me right now, but I'm going to still continue to reach out and see how you're doing, how it's going. I'm going to keep doing my personal touches, keep doing my automated touches. And then if they come back, great. And more often than not, they do. Because it's not that they forgot about you, it's just they've been dealing with stuff. And then when they're ready, they'll connect with you. That happened to me, I had over a year, and they finally called me up. And I closed the deal. So you gotta remember when they're ready, but you keep following up, you keep doing your job, keep connecting, keep doing that, then all of a sudden you're having multiple closings at one time. Because you were doing what you should be doing, and that's continuing to connect.
Those people, if you don't keep following up with them and you see or talk to them a year later, most of the time they've already bought or sold to someone else. As you didn't send them a note or thought about them, you were concerned about it. They're not going to use you. They're the person that happens to be in front of them, like Evo, run into someone in there, like, oh, you're a realtor? I just so happen to be thinking about it. That's the person they go to, is the person that's right in front of them.
100%.
I met a client 2-3 years ago, before COVID. That's a lieutenant in the police department up in north of San Francisco. And I've been consistently following up with the family because of all the politics with law enforcement. They've gone through hell. COVID, they've gone through hell, and they want to retire. But this whole time, they've just been in turmoil. So I just keep checking on them to make sure they're okay, and one, that he's healthy and alive still, because he's in a really difficult situation. But yeah, people have their own life, and if you truly care about them, I mean, it really isn't just about a real estate deal. Once you meet someone, you really, if you actually are a good person, you should have some concern once you get to know them. You know, that people have struggles that they go through, and hope that you can help them.
And I've watched her do this in person, because we went down to Yuma, and on the way down there, she was talking about a client that went through a ordeal. We stopped and she got a nice little thing for the client, and then we stopped by and she said hello and talked to him.
Yeah, that client, that's the first time I ever met that client, and I forgot about that because I spoke to her forever on the phone. We sold them a place, they bought it sight unseen. And in the interim from her buying a home sight unseen, prior to that, she was dying. She was really bad shape. She wasn't going to make it. She got healthy. She bought a home to retire in, came down to Yuma, living down here, went back to visit family. Her son was killed. All this like in 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And then I referred her for a refi, and she had a horrible experience, which I felt terrible. But the lender that I referred her to, his mind was on vacation. So we brought her a little emotional book, and she's a Christian, very sweet lady.
But think about all that she just said. She knew so much about that person because she made the relationship, made the connection, stayed in touch with them. You know what I mean? Most people can't even say that much about their clients, like all these things, right? But when you make it about genuine, about meeting them, connecting with them, and building the relationship, that's where you win. That's where you're going to have long-term business. So it's very important to do. I wanted to draw that up because I think it's real powerful to see that, you know, everything you do is every connection is someone that's into the system, and they're not ready yet, but they will be at some point. They will be if you stay in touch with them. And I'll give you some more stats yet. I mean, I've told you before, from the time you meet your client, they'll be touched by 17 different realtors through the whole process. Okay, it's crazy how many people that they'll be touched. So if you're not staying connected and you're not building the relationship through that, someone else is going to get them. Now, I'll tell you some other stuff that, so when consumers go online, okay, and they're searching, so I think 92% of consumers are online looking or something like that, or online looking. It's crazy. But I think it's over 80%. I don't know the exact number, but it's over 80% will use the first realtor they'll talk to. So if you're working leads, how important do you think it is that you call right away? Which is why we always say when you're calling leads, you need to call in less than 5 minutes. And then you need to build a rapport. You need to connect, right? You need to let them know you're there. So, and that's a whole nother thing, because we need to do more training on lead conversion and how that works, because that is a whole thing in itself, just trying to get them on the phone, because you know how it is. They get bombarded. Stop. I don't want to talk, you know, all that stuff. You've got to be able to really break that wall down fast, because the wall's up already when they know as soon as they start looking and they put their information in, they know they're getting a call.
Mercedes is working on a client like that right now. She got right in front of them. They wanted instant service. We went over there, gave them instant service, sent over the listing, gave them all the info. They said, we don't want to show, we don't want to do anything. We just want this price for the home. So we've been putting feelers out. it happened so fast that we did exactly what she wanted, that she got overwhelmed. She's kind of chilled out. So what she thought she wanted and what she really wants, two different things. So now we're just sitting on the back burner and servicing them from a distance and giving them a listing book and letting them know we're here. But
Yeah,
it's the same thing. Yeah, you have to know to read people.
absolutely, absolutely. So you really have to tie it together with your system. You have to have the automation, you have to have the personal touch, you have to be doing this. This should be part of your everyday routine. So like in Relentless Agent, this is what we teach you. We help you with the calendar, we help you with the stuff, we give you all this information, we walk you through it, we coach you through the whole thing. So, but you need to do this, and most people don't. If you ask 10 realtors, I'm willing to bet you 8 out of 10 don't even have a database. A lot of them don't even have it, and maybe that 9th person has one, but all they do is put people in it. They don't actually even set it up and use it the way it's supposed to be used. So you need to do that. You need to integrate that in. You need to integrate the technology, but more importantly, you have to be the one that's consistently reaching out to them. So if you do this, this is where your business is going to grow. You're going to go from 10 deals to 20 deals. It works. I don't know how to tell you other than if you go out and do it for experienced agents like ourselves that have been through this and done it, it works. So I went from 10 deals to 27 transactions. It's also why I went when I was in business development and I went from hiring so many agents because I stayed in touch with them. Constantly checked on them, constantly talked to them, and I always would meet with them. I always find time with them. I always helped them, and they kept referring me more and more. That's why at one point I was hiring more than 50 people a month because people referred me because they knew me, they liked me, and they trusted me because I spent the time to make sure I stay connected with them and help them. No different there than it is in going up deals. I did the same thing in my deals. I have my own what I call 24-point close. I had, I only call it close because that's so used to my lending days, but I had my own unique experience with my clients. So every time I would meet with them, they would go through a unique experience with me from beginning to end. All certain touch points, all different things that I did. I would take them through the process. And man, I mean, I had clients. I still get referrals sometimes. I'm not even doing real estate. You know what I mean? Like I haven't done real estate in a while, but I still get them. Refer them to my mom, and everybody's like, "Why do you refer it to me?" I'm like, "Well, I'm saying so I refer it to my mom." But the point is, it's because of the relationships that you built that people still don't forget you and they remember you. So it's important to do that. So I'm going to add 2 more things. Okay. So I've given you a ton of different ways to really get out there and prospect, right? I've given you information about how to connect with them, what to say, maintain the relationship, all of those things. Okay. And I promise you, we're going to continue to make the CRM better. So even though the drip campaigns are already done, I'm already at a minute. I just told him yesterday that we want to go in and make them even better. So we're going to go in and make them better, maybe even add some more campaigns. So all that means is more work for Evo. And yeah, we're going to keep him busy. So I promise you, we're going to constantly always be better. Okay. Yeah, you know what? We want to grow as much as you guys do, and we can't do it without you guys. So if there are things that you guys see, we want to know. Let Michelle know. Let me know. Let us know so we can continually make things better. And we promise to always be like that. We're always will be agent first, and we'll always be working to how we can help you guys continue to grow. That's why we cleared the training schedule, and we decided, you know what? Let's do a whole summer series on nothing but production. Let's just talk about how do we help agents, really grow their business. So 2 more things that you can do that will be connecting and growing your business. One is, you've heard about this when you got hired, is rev share. So revenue share. You guys have all brought on board. We hope you love Barrett Real Estate by now. If not, we will get you to love us. But here's the thing, you guys. This should be no different than what you're doing in prospecting. And here's the great thing about it is you don't need to recruit. We don't want you to recruit. How many of you know another agent? You can all raise your hand, right? You know another agent that is now with Barrett Real Estate. So there is a referral. Okay. So if you, here's what what I was telling people in the other class, so 5 days a week, if you're doing 5 days a week. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, okay? If you just decided to refer one person or 2 people, let's do 2 people a week, okay? So Monday through Friday, that's 4 weeks, refer 2 people, right? It's 8 people. So 8 people a month. I referred. So now I'm not taking much of your time out of your day, your week really, to think about 2 people that you could refer over. Now, I'm not thinking it just in terms of growing Barrett real estate. I'm thinking in terms of a way for you to collect. So this is something where you can refer 2 agents a week. And then if one person, even just one person hired out of those 8 people a month that came on board, just one, you would end up with 12 people at the end of the year, right? At the end of the year. Now, doesn't sound, right now, there's 2 ways to do it, right? If they're on the 100% plan, you're making $50. If they're on the 85-15 plan, depending on what plan you're on, you're either earning 1% or 4%, which could be up to, it's like either 125 up to, or in this case, I think it's 500, depending on the average commission, but somewhere in that area. So if 12 people came on board, who's got a calculator? I think that's 6 grand.
Yeah,
12 people on the 85-15, if you're on the 85-15, they're on the 85-15, you just made 6 grand for referring someone over. And they all closed one deal, right? So, but here's the thing, if 12 people all close, say 4 deals a year, the money just went up. Just for referring them. If I mean, it adds up over here. 12 people, it's only $600, but that's still $600, right? Did I get that right?
So if you had 12 people that.
12 times 50, is that $600? 10, 6, right? $600, right?
If you had 12 people that did 4 deals a year, that'd be $24,000 if you were both on 80.
On this one?
Yep.
Yeah, so if they all did 4 deals, right? You can see that all you did was added another activity, another task into your weekly routine of just referring 1 or 2 people to the brokerage. And now your rev share starts going up. And if you did just even that pace for the next couple of years, the next thing you know, you got 30, 40 people in the system over 3 or 4 years, and they're all, maybe you split it. 20 people are closing 4%, 20 people are closing this. It's not bad. It's almost a couple grand a month, right? I mean, I'm doing fast math here, but if you had 24,000 there and another, so that's 30 grand. That's not bad. That's almost the mortgage payment. You know what I mean? So now, I mean, I'm not trying to say it as a business, but I'm just trying to say there is another way to connect and collect. So you could actually earn revenue share from the company. Yeah, we don't want you to accrue. We got some exciting stuff coming out for that. We are just hopefully gonna get all the videos done this week. And then we're giving out a roadmap to Barrett Real Estate that you will be able to send out with your popple out to anybody. So if someone says, hey, how do you like Barrett? I love Barrett, man. I've got this cool little interactive, what do we call it? We'll call it video, right? It's like an interactive thing where you can read about it, but you can also click and it'll put up the video. We're trying to make it funny. We're trying to make it cool with a lot of information and knowledge in it. But you'll be able to send that out for people that want to learn more about us. And you'll hear from all of us. You'll hear from Michelle, Evo, myself, Michael Smith, Frank. You're going to hear from all the different people on staff, just a little bit about Barrett Real Estate, why Barrett Real Estate, the comp plan, the revenue share, all that stuff. So it's a great little thing that you can hand out to anyone. They can click on it and learn about it. So just things like that we're going to be doing to help you guys to be able to refer more people. So another way to connect and collect. Okay. Now I know if you're not doing this, give it a try. Refer it over. Let us do the heavy lifting on that. Any questions on that? This could be a significant, you guys. We're gonna be in 6 states by the end of the year. We're almost done with Florida. We're just waiting for the light switch to go on. We have all the paperwork and all the stuff already filed for 4 more states. So Nevada, Illinois, North Carolina, and Michigan are all probably gonna come online very close to each other. So we'll be in 6 states, Arizona and 5 more states by the end of the year. So you can see where in other states, if you start referring for people you know, in other states, and they start hiring on too, that over the next 3 or 4 years, you might have 100 people underneath you. What a great retirement thing that you could have if in 5 or 10 years, you know, or whenever you decide to retire, you might have a certain number of people under you. You're constantly making that money. That's forever, as long as they're with Barrett Real Estate. So, you know, it's something to take advantage of, something to think about. I know your business is important. I'm going to show you a quick way, a real quick way that won't take a lot of time out of your week. Refer 1 or 2 people a week. Okay. Questions on that? Okay, one more thing, and then I'm gonna end it there. There's another way to connect and collect, and maybe you don't know about. That is property management. So I don't know that you know, but we, you know, here at Barrett Real Estate, we manage over 600 doors. So these guys run an amazing. Michael and his mom, they run an amazing property management company. But did you know you can make money off that? So if you know people that are renting their property out, and you get them to come over to Barrett Real Estate or Barrett Property Management, there's 2 ways that you can do this. So I know some agents like to manage the property themselves, and that's a lot of work. So if you were going to manage the property yourself, they charge $35 a door. $35 a door. You have to do the rest, but they'll take care of all the accounting, and that's a must. No negotiating on that. It is literally, we run the accounting and all that stuff on it because we don't want to jeopardize the license. So everything we do is the minimum, but you get the rest. So if it was a $1,500 rent and 10% was the fee, that's $150, right? So if you're managing it, they charge $35, you get the rest per month. That's the fee they pay per month, right? So that's like $115 a month per door per month for you if you bring someone over. Now, you don't want, and most people don't want to manage the property. They charge $85 a door, and they do everything. Maintain it, manage it, all that. You get the difference. So here you're making $115 per door. Here you're making $65 per door. But you don't really think of it, but if you had 10 properties that you were able to bring over to the property management, that's $650 a month. It's not bad. It's a decent car payment, right? But if over time, over the next 10 years, you ended up with 30 properties that you've built up, you see where I'm going with this, right? Just same concept as you know, 1 or 2 a month. Next thing you know, over the next couple of years, you've got 30, 40 properties that are underneath you. And now the way they track it is in the system, it'll be your name and all the properties, they put it in there. But they'll handle everything. But that's another way for you to earn revenue. Good question.
Is it only in Arizona or other review?
For now, yeah. For now, yes, just Arizona. And I think we're venturing to Yuma right now. But we have a lot of activity going on there. I think we're venturing to Yuma, but they're primarily Maricopa County or here. But I think they'll expand in Tucson and the other markets.
And they do all the advertising and
Sorry?
do they do the advertising and marketing for
We do
that?
that, the agents. Are you talking about what is released again?
Yeah, like for profit, like complete property management.
They do everything if you pay the 85, they do it.
Yeah.
They list it on the MLS. You literally don't have to do anything.
It's your person, you're gonna want to manage that
Right.
because those people turn into buyers and sellers.
Absolutely.
So that's
And
why
those buyers and sellers,
I paid.
And those will come back to you. They will track it, they will come back to you as your transaction.
So you never want to just turn it off and then don't do anything. You want
I
to
tell them
stay
it's
involved.
my team.
Yeah, you're
I
staying,
feel
Exactly.
even on the 85 a month, you're gonna stay involved, you're just not gonna have to,
Do that.
maintenance and all, you're not gonna do the application, all that stuff, they'll do all that. But you'll still be involved, and then if it turns into a transaction, they'll just send it back to you and say, hey, they're ready to.
And
List
the
everybody.
client, when they leave, the other thing to do with those, whenever they're leaving a tenant for whatever reason, you should follow up and find out why. Maybe that tenant needs to go purchase, maybe they have a job or something and that can turn into a referral in another state or whatever. So you want to stay very involved. The best way to capitalize on everything.
So these are just ways that you can connect and collect, right? So you're out there, it's just another avenue for you to add to everything that we're doing, right? So not only do your business, but you can get revenue share, you can make revenue on property management. Then there's the one other one that, that you've heard about too, is if you got your loan officer license and you referred the loans over, you can get paid 50 basis points for every referral that you send over. So there's another way to earn more revenue. So you can, if you did 10 loans a year, that's $25,000. Well, average of $2,500 a deal. So that's a lot of money, right? So if you did get your loan officer license, refer to the Barrett team. Let the Barrett team close. Now the Barrett team, let me talk about the Barrett team. So we have one big team with that. So I mean, their process is great, you guys. I mean, there's they're not explaining, but they have less than 10 minutes to respond to the client. That they've got through a whole protocol that they have to do. So that is one thing they're going to take care of your clients. So Jacqueline Richards, like the face of the team. So we send them in. She can still do loans. Chad does loans, but there's still a team behind that actually has a whole protocol, how fast they have to respond, how quick they get it done, all that stuff. So you'll hear more about that later. But man, if you wanted to get your LO license, that's another way that you can earn revenue. So when you look at everything, there's just so much opportunity. And how much of that are you implementing into your business? So we've shared a lot of different ways. Obviously, we're focused on doing real estate deals too, but adding in 1 or 2 referrals to agents, it doesn't take much time, right? So now the loan officer license might take you a little bit of time because you got to go get your license and all that stuff before you can start referring it over, but it's still an avenue for you. Property management, when you run into it, refer it over or start looking for it. We have agents that are actually going out and they're committed to going get themselves 10 properties. They're going to go through a process to go out and talk to all these people and try to get them to use Barrett property management. You could add that into your business as well. So that could be something that you might spend a couple hours a week on and going and finding that and building that up as well.
I tell that to all my clients. If they decide they want to, they're like, oh, maybe we could rent this out later. I tell them, we do that too. I do that too. I can make sure to take like the offer I just submitted today. They're literally buying it as just an investment property. And they're like, oh, cool. We're not out here because they live in Philadelphia. So they're like, oh, could you just manage it for us? I'm like, yep, no problem. It'll cost this much a month. They're like, okay, cool.
By the way, the 18 that he's talking about, Barrett Financial.
Oh, yeah.
They have a 15% down payment for an investor loan right now.
Oh, really?
Most others is 20%. So definitely, yeah, Renee over there.
I think the lender that we had said that we can get 15%, but yeah.
Yeah, because it's gotten tougher for.
Yeah,
investors, so
definitely.
Kind of slow it down. So yeah.
So hopefully I've given you guys a lot of good information and armed you with a lot of different things that you can be building into your business every week. That'll allow you to connect more, but more importantly, start earning more revenue. That's in your production going up, property management, revenue share. These are all different ways that I would integrate into your business. And see what happens. Give it a try, give it a shot. And see what you never know when you might refer 5 people over and then all of a sudden 2 people are closing deals, So I might want to take time because people got to transition and get their business and get it going. But once everything gets going and into a rhythm, it starts hitting. Next thing you know, wow, this is cool. I should have done this long. Most people say I should have done this a long time ago. Especially in this connecting part on your business, really reaching out, working the database, staying connected. going to these different events or being part of these different things and doing it. A lot of people have start implementing 2 or 3 of those things in there. They always say, I should have been doing this. I should have done this a while ago. Because they see their business really start growing. So, questions? No? Great. Well, I thank everybody for coming. How many people are on Zoom?
A couple jumped off because we went a little over, but Wally's on there. Because I
Hey, Wally.
gotta send out the thing for next month.
Hey, everybody out there. I don't know who's all out there, but
Hey, what's happening? How you guys doing?
going good, man. Going good.
All right, looking good.
All right. Well, if there's no more questions, then thanks for attending. And I have another class today is going to be the hard truth. I've got updated information on this, so if you want to be in that class, you should, because I'm really going to talk about the state of the market, like what just how hard it is to actually be an agent, but also how you can succeed. So yeah, it's gonna be a good class. So that's at 1 o'clock.
It's actually at 12:30.
What?
It's at 12:30.
It's at 12:30.
Yeah,
Get a snap.
Why? Yeah.
it's because you went over it.
So I have 20 minutes to feed myself, which is possible. So next time we should do 1 to 2:30.
Okay, you wanna, I can push it back and just set up.
But 12:30, if you guys come back, you want to check it out. We're gonna go over some good information there too. So thanks again, you guys.
We'll have that.